Good evening, campers, dreamers, and babysitters. And yes, we have been treated like kings the last 24 hours here. Yeah, this one we had to push to the next day because, of course, Alien Romulus came out. But this is also a film we're very much looking forward to. And we're talking about the trailer for In a Violent Nature, which we do got to come forth and say was leaked on Twitter probably, like 3 weeks ago, and we saw some of it. That was not the full trailer, though, because there's definitely some new stuff in here that I don't remember seeing in that. So that's fun, exciting, and very refreshing for what looks to be a fun and exciting throwback with some refreshing elements for the slasher genre. Luke, what do you think of In a Violent Nature?
Very different approach, and we had been hearing that conceptually this was kind of told more so from the killer's perspective, which we don't get too much from or ever really, I don't think. So I like that element of it. This little trailer here, comes off really methodical almost, I would say. Not really, especially after seeing something like Alien Romulus, nothing necessarily fast paced. It's kind of really um leaning on those kind of just nature noises, and our killer just, I love this shot of just seeing him from behind for the most part
Mhm.
and really concealing this killer of ours. So really seems brutal, really methodical. I gotta say, very unique kind of trailer than we don't usually get these types of things. It's really more fast paced, really those quick cuts that we get. But this one, I think this is probably going to have the feel of the actual film itself, of this kind of slow, methodical, kind of going along with our killer and seeing what transpires.
Yeah, I'm all on board for this. I know that's going to be a constant trend here between the last two videos, but like, dude,
It's good
it's been
stuff.
so long since we've had like a Friday the 13th esque slasher that actually hits. I know we've had some good ones with Terrifier 2, and there have been some other solid slashers. They're all kind of slipping my mind right now, but if I went back, I'm sure there's a few, even just within the last
Thanksgiving.
year. Thanksgiving, yes, very good, a good throwback. This just feels like the perfect summer slasher to me. Where Thanksgiving was a great holiday slasher. I absolutely adored it. It definitely landed all the right punches there. This just looks like a fun slasher that I'll watch this and then I immediately want to go camping. Like that's just the kind of horror fan I am. I really have desperately missed a refresh on the Friday the 13th franchise like all of us have, and although this isn't it, you can clearly tell that it's so inspired by it, with our killer kind of seemingly coming up out of the ground as a dead body. So very Friday the 13th part 6, which as you all in the channel should know is my favorite Friday the 13th. And just the amount of weapons that this guy's going to get his hands on, just not really knowing the backstory. God, they could really nail this if we had some like cheesy opening that explains kind of the backstory, the classic story. Obviously, we know Jason drowned in the lake. What's this guy's deal? What's going on with that? And even if they don't give us that, the reviews that we have seen and the things I have heard about just how over the top brutal this film is and how gory it is. I mean, this just looks like summer fun for a horror fan.
Absolutely, and I think we do have a little bit of details as to what the backstory is. I know there's something involving a locket, I believe. So I'm intrigued to see, what they're going to bring us here. As you said, inspired by Friday 13th, certainly, but I think, nothing is, you always walk that line of inspired by or just complete ripoff. And I think this one really walks that line of being inspired by in all the best ways, because, this is something I think, especially being so starved for Friday 13th content for so long. I think this really, we have that appetite for it. And this is kind of making sure we're being fed, where we got those tones, we got that feeling back, but also bringing its own originality to it. So, I think it's smart to kind of lean on those tones of Friday the 13th and what we can reminisce about. But as we get into this, I think it's going to be something fairly unique, something we don't ever see. And I'm curious to see what kind of tension they're going to build here, because I think we're already getting some tension here, and I'm curious to see how long they're going to sustain it throughout the film. Which I don't know the runtime on this thing. I never looked that up. I don't know if that's been released yet, but I'm curious to see how they are going to sustain that, because going from that perspective of the killer, I'm curious to see what that's going to look like. Is this really going to be a slow, methodical kind of feeling actual throughout the duration of the film, or are we going to pick up the pace, as he's going through and killing campers in a sense? So I'm curious to see what kind of tone, what kind of ride they're going to take us on, because this one, while we get the feel, it does open up a lot of questions for me.
I agree. And, I think that's the best part of this trailer is that it doesn't give away too much. Obviously, we stated it in the Romulus video. It doesn't have to give away too much. It's just the tone. It's the feeling, just giving you like the kind of, again, that classic vibe with a little bit of a modern twist to it. And I mean, the things that really stick out for me in this trailer, apart from the energy, the tone, and everything really feeling Friday the 13th, is it's got a very unique look to the killer for being, again, sort of a Jason knockoff with that mask. It's very unique. I want to know what the deal is with that, what kind of mask that is. It almost appears very what are those old timey scuba diving suits called? You know what I'm saying? Where it's like they got the grate over the face and stuff.
Yeah.
It feels sort of like that, but with some leather. There's a bullet on the front of it as like a zipper. Like I'm so curious as to what that is. If that's something he made or that's something he's gonna pick up. And again, the weaponry is a big thing for slashers, and just having that chain with the two hooks, like, my God, you mentioned that when the poster dropped. That was the first thing you texted me when I sent that over to you. You said you loved the weapon, and I agree. It doesn't look like that's all he uses throughout the film, but I mean that is predominantly in a lot of these photos and throughout the trailer. So I'm excited to see what kind of carnage he's going to administer with that. And obviously, we spoke a little bit about this with our buddies, Evan and Alex on the live stream. And yeah, they are both, we got our group chat going, and they were both so excited for this as well. I think that this is going to be a huge hit for horror fans. I think this is going to be that fun summer slasher that we've all been missing.
Yeah, and you talk about the weaponry where it's, you look at slasher films and they all follow a very specific formula, as Randy from Scream would say. But, so you strive for that uniqueness. And I think, looking at the weapons, that's one point of uniqueness that you can go with. So, just seeing whether he uses that weapon throughout the duration of the film, or it's just a couple of scenes and we get some unique kills, you can tell that Chris Nash is someone who wanted to bring a different flavor to the slasher genre, where you mentioned Thanksgiving, where that one falls in line with traditional slashers, but also brings a unique flavor to it, a resurgence in terms of what we hadn't really seen back from the 80s. And this one, again, getting a lot of 80s vibe from it, certainly that Friday the 13th and the Burning and all those great ones. So I'm curious to see what they're going to bring here. It's certainly got my attention. There's been so much hype around this coming out of Sundance and a lot of other festivals of people who've seen it. We've been trying to acquire it for some time now. Hopefully, that actually happens for us, because we are definitely so excited for this one.
Yeah, this will be another one that even if we get screener access, I think this is one that I'm going to try to go to the theater and see.
Absolutely.
As long as it's playing close by, like I'm definitely going to try to, because it just looks like a great time in the theater. Like if you get a good audience with this, it looks like a really fun time. And
It could be
I
one of
think
those Thanksgiving experiences. That's so much
exactly.
fun to watch.
Yes, that was a ton of fun to watch with an audience, and this it just really gives me that vibe of like it will be a great audience piece. And there's nothing better than sitting there with an audience that's fully engaged. Everybody likes to go to the Avengers films and the Marvel movies with everybody shrieking and shouting at the screen. I was there too. I loved it, but I'm telling you, there's nothing better than a good horror film with a good audience. Like that energy is unique. And yeah, I'm all for it. So definitely let us know down below, guys, what you guys are thinking of in a violent nature. Is this something that you didn't know about? You're just now discovering and you want to go see? Or is this going to be a pass for you? I'm curious if anybody's going to be kind of on the outs with this one. I very much doubt it. But yeah, I'm super excited for it. So let me know your thoughts down below. Definitely, we'll be back with, of course, a review for this one. And yeah. Other than that, we got a lot of great stuff on the channel. We mentioned it a few times. It's becoming our new prey. But, we did cover Alien Romulus last night, so check that out. And as well as some of our other reviews for things like another Shudder original, like Late Night with the Devil, which is out right now. So, alrighty, guys. Other than that, you can follow us on all our socials. And yeah, till next time, I'm Dylan Newell.
And I'm Luke Janesco.
And remember, stay scared.
Do the hard shit, gonna do it live. Cause Splattercast kick it every day they live. Splattercast,